guys, we're going to look at the area of composed shapes. So where you have several shapes, or maybe you have a shape with something like cut out from it. So this is a pure example. So if I have the, if I'm trying to find the area of this basically L-shaped rectangle pieces here, I can take the area of this long piece, which is right here, and then I will add it to the area of this piece here. So really this should just be a smaller piece, not this piece. And so I can just add those two areas together, and that would give me the area of this L shape. Also, you can see that if I were to enclose add a little small rectangle in the top right corner, I would have an entire rectangle. So then I could find the area of that rectangle and then subtract this little area here. So this area here. So this piece here is like this piece here. Okay. So I'm finding the whole area, and then I'm going to take away this top little piece. So I kind of made a little rectangle up there at the top. So you can do it either way. So we might be adding the areas together, or we might be subtracting the areas from each other. So let's take a look at the examples. So what you notice here is that we have a hexagon and a rectangle. All right, so the hexagon is sitting on top of the rectangle, and I'm trying to find the area of the whole piece together. So what I'll have is the area is going to be equal to, if I do the hexagon, that's going to be the apothem times the perimeter of that hexagon, and then plus the area of the rectangle, which is just base times height. So I'm going to go through and label. So this is the apothem. This side length here is going to be the same side length as here. So that's going to be my base, and this is going to be the height for the for that rectangle. And then for the perimeter, I'm going to have to use that 25 6 times. So I'm going to put this all in one long equation. You don't have to. You could find the area of each one separately and then add them up. That's definitely a possibility. I just want you to start seeing it this way a little bit. So I have 1/2 times the apothem, which is 15, times the perimeter. Remember that the perimeter is going to be 25, which is each side length, times the number of sides, which is 6. And then I'm going to add the area of the rectangle, which is 110 times 25. And so all that, I can plug all that into my calculator at one time. What I would do if I were you, though, make sure you put these in parentheses. Each piece that you're adding, put that in parentheses. Okay, because if not, then it may not work out. I think order of operations would kind of take a role over here, but just to be on the safe side. So that's 3,875 centimeters squared. So that's the area of that hexagon and rectangle together. Okay, find the area of this figure here. So we have two trapezoids on a rectangle here. And so we're going to have to find the area of each trapezoid. So I have two of these. 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times the height. That's the trapezoid. And then I'll add the rectangle. So the rectangle, this H right here is not going to be the same H because I have the height of the rectangle and then I have the height of the trapezoid. So now I'm going to go through and label. So this is a base 1, here's base 2, and then this is my height for the trapezoid, and this is the base or the height of the rectangle, and then this would be the other base or height of that. So let me write that. This side length there. So then I'm going to have 2 times 1/2 times 30 plus 18 times the height, which is 20. So all of that, so that's 2 of the trapezoids plus the rectangle, which is going to be this length here, which is the same as here. That's 18 times 22. Once you put all of that together, remember you can take each piece together and then add them. That's perfectly fine. Okay, you would get 1,356 again centimeters squared. So that would be the area there. So again, just adding those up. Okay, so number 3 is a kind of involved question here. Robinson is buying new turf for the football field, and the shape below is what's going to be covered with a turf. It says turn, if the turf costs 75 cents per square foot, okay, what would the total cost be for the new turf? So I need to find out how much area am I going to cover first, and then I'm going to have to determine how much is it going to cost me, because this is very applicable for just about anything. We did new floors recently, had to determine how much it was going to cost me. So I have the area. So I have pi r squared. So this piece here and this piece here are going to be the same thing. They're just an entire circle split in half. So you have 2 halves essentially. So it's just one whole. And then plus, and then I'm going to have base times height. I need to find the radius here. So this entire length is 150. So half of that, that's the diameter of this semicircle, half of that is going to be 75. So I'm going to have pi times 75 squared plus, now the base for the rectangle, I'm going to say is 300. Again, it doesn't matter the order that you put those in. And then the height is not going to be 75. It's still the 150. That's the entire height there. We just used 75 to find the radius because we needed half of it. And so now adding those two together, I would get 62,671, and it's point something. So even if it's 0.01, I'm going to have to round it up because I'm going to have a little bitty space that doesn't have turf on it, which doesn't make sense. So I can't remember what the decimal was. So I'm going to round this up to 62,672 because even if I have a little bit extra, because I'm going to tell you right now, when we did our floors, we didn't get enough. So if I didn't have enough turf, then I would be like, oh gosh, we got to go back and we're going to have to add these in. And then we may have to redo the whole thing. So you definitely want to have enough because you can always trim down. And so that's not my final answer because this is feet squared. It didn't ask me to find how much area is being covered. This is how much is it going to cost me? Well, for this 62,671 square feet, so like if I had tiles, that's how many it would cover this football field. So that's what I'm going to take, and I'm going to multiply that by 0.75 because that's how much each one of those tiles, like for turf, if I were to use one from the hallway, then that's where it would cost 75 cents per one, per square foot. So therefore, it's going to be $47,004. And that was nice, pretty even. All right. So this is my final answer, and it's in dollars because it was how much is it going to cost me. So make sure that you answer that question that you're being asked. Now this time we're going to find the area of the shaded region. So this is just a little rectangle that has 2 holes punched out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of the outer piece, the area of that rectangle, so base times height, and I'm going to subtract 2 pi r squareds, okay? So the base and the height. So I'm going to have 50 times 32. So that's going to be my first piece. Then I'm going to subtract 2 times pi, and the radius here is 8 squared. So this is my second piece, and I'll subtract the 2, and it's going to be a decimal approximation. So 1,197.88, and this is going to be centimeters squared. That's my area here. Okay, so I had 2 circles, so that's why I multiplied by 2. And then I took that and I'm taking away the circles. So that's why I'm going to subtract. So I'm not adding on the circles there. All right, so that's it for the area of this of these shapes that are composed of several different shapes. So there may be some taken out, some added to, but you are going to still kind of follow that same thing. So make sure that you are answering what the question's asking for. Is it asking for the area, or is it asking for something else? Is it give you something else in there? And then make sure that are you supposed to be adding it? Is it two shapes put together, or is it one shape with another shape cut out of it? And then that would be a subtraction problem there. But it's your turn now to practice with your skill check.